previously.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, let's go work on this. That's better. Nice and organized. Alright, so, a couple problems with this thing. If you look inside, you can see that it started cracking. And that is because I did not let it cure properly. You're supposed to let this stuff cure for 6 hours at like 400 or 500 degrees. And I just decided to fire the forge up instead. So that's what you get. I'm gonna have to patch that up. Also, I'm gonna move this thing here. Now you could say it's probably close enough, but I'm not willing to leave well enough alone. So, you know, I'm in quarantine. I got lots of time on my hand. I'm gonna move this hole over about 1.5 inches. That should hopefully get the flame pretty much right in here in the middle there and cause it to be a more even burn. Also, you can see I've got this thing on just a piece of angle iron. I'm gonna make some actual legs for this thing. This right now is just an opening. I'm gonna put a ledge on there so that I can rest a piece on it. And on the back here, I need to make another ledge here so that I can put a fire brick in there and close up the hole. So if you're wondering why there's a hole there at all, it's because, you know, step 1, build a forge. Step 2, forge a katana. Sometimes my work pieces will be a little bit longer than the forge allows for, so this allows me to poke the piece through and heat up the middle of it. So yeah, that's what I got going on today. So the first thing we're going to tackle is getting this pipe out of here. Now, I went a little crazy with the weld, so it's going to be a decent amount of grinding. What can you do? So when you're working with a grinder, it's very dangerous. Anytime you're messing with the business end of a grinder, you should make sure the power is disconnected. Also, I'm not responsible for your stupidity, so just take this for what it is. Grinding produces a lot of metal shavings and metal dust, so always make sure to wear your 3M respirator. The link will be in the description. Starting to look like something. Okay. One of the other problems with it was kind of in there at an angle. So it was actually pointing towards the back corner. Never gonna work. And we can reuse that. So, it's gonna involve putting some kale wool in here, coating it on the inside with the cement stuff, And maybe we'll just we'll weld this shut and then shove the cable in from the inside and then put the cement on over top of that. Yep, I think that's the game plan. One thing you learn pretty early on is never throw anything away. That actually came out of that hole. So, all I need to do is fix it in place and then tack it shut. Welding something pretty thin with a big gap like that's not ideal, but we'll figure it out. I'll be using a little Amco DC 160A stick welder. Super cheap. Get you going. Hold it exactly where it needs to be. Wherever that is. That worked out pretty well. Just a little bit of tweaking, but I think we got ourselves a good start. So obviously it's easier when the gap is smaller. So I'll just do the parts I can and then I'll figure out the rest. Off center there, but getting this filled in is going to be a little challenging. Just got to be patient, kind of fill it in a little bit and let it cool off and keep going. We'll get there. Eventually end up with something that looks like that. So once I keep going around, get it all filled in, I'll be able to grind it down. Can I get it done with one stick? it's not pretty, but it's plugged up. This thing's getting a little warm. The fact that I'm working on a wooden workbench is not ideal. I have a plan for that. Basically from here over, I'm going to put sheet metal on so I can fixture stuff up in the vise and weld on it, or just put it right on the sheet metal, and then this side will be for woodworking. The wonderful thing about grinding is it shows you where you messed up with welding. I got some more areas to fill in here. This is a process. Sometimes when you're working on something, you get carried away trying to make it perfect. But then you gotta realize you're making a forge. So, that's good enough.